What is cooking, everybody? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. Our instant reaction for the match that was today. Fiorentina, Juve takes home the victory from the Viola 1-0, or I guess 0-1. However you say it on the road. Anyway, Juventus gets the win. Really, the one thing we can say to start this off is just a flawless performance by our boy Juan C. Just perfect on everything that he did today. Got to give him all the credit. Can't even say one negative thing about the player. With me, as always, is my boy Alejandro Fancello. How are you, sir?
I'm good because that was funny. I can. That was funny. That was not even stressful. It was just funny. Like, unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I think that's a fair thing to say is going to this match, and I'll say a little bit, and then I'll let you have the floor a little bit. But I'll just say, going to this match, I think we all kind of talked about in the previews, all the stuff leading up to this. Basically, our expectations were that Juve are going to kind of come in this, not expecting to lose, but just playing, playing for a tie. Which
Yeah.
is kind of what Allegri does a lot here lately. A lot of situations, a lot of issues
Yeah.
going on. Juve's got a lot of injuries. The players they're playing with, though, they did play some of the overall the best squad that they could, really kind of going into it, given the situation. Maybe you could take out, you could piece here and there, a couple guys in and out, especially Manata for Keane or whatever. But going into it, I got into the first 20 minutes and I was like, okay, Juve, if they're not, they weren't doing anything. Nothing was happening. Nothing was getting going. And at that point, I was like, okay, they're playing. Literally, Allegri's playing for 0-0. He's just trying to finish it, 0-0. Let's get out of here. Let's get on the road. Obviously, some things that we really you gotta give credit to. I mean, not credit, but you have to just say thanks for giving us that game. I guess if you're looking at Fiorentina and the way they played out. Um, Give me your thoughts. I'm all over the place. I have plenty of ideas of where I want to go with this, but you go ahead first.
Um, that was probably the greatest shithouse win I've seen ever. Like, we, I have no idea how we won that game. I have actually no idea how we won that game. Um, and that's not to say that Fiorentina were missing chance after chance after chance. Not that they had one clear cut chance. I have still no idea how he hit that post from that range. It's unbelievable.
Mhm.
But other than that, it wasn't like Perin needed to do crazy stuff. Besides him causing crazy stuff in the first half, that was that. We were so bad. Like we had nothing going. I think that was just a copy paste of the Milan game. But the only difference is then we decided we're not doing anything. Today we couldn't do anything because it
Yeah.
was just bad. At one point, Arthur was playing behind Perin. Like he was playing alongside Perin. Like we were bobbing the ball around in our own half, in our own box for like 2 straight minutes. I will look it up for the next podcast. It was
Hmm.
at least a minute and a half. We're just playing it side to sides in our own box. I'm like, what the hell is happening over here? And then Arthur decides, you know what? I had enough. I'm giving it away. Like he was trying to, like he was doing his best to give it away in the entire game. Like if you will ask me who's the man of the match, I'm not gonna answer that question today because there is no man of the match. Like it was just bad from there was not there was nothing. Like nothing worked. The
Hmm.
formation was a 3-5-2. It wasn't a 3-5. I don't know what that was because the
Yeah.
wingbacks they were stuck. In the second half, Pellegrini and Chilo had a more how do you want to say it? They pushed up a little bit more, but like I'm exaggerating.
Hmm.
I want to put something positive in it, but it was just bad. Like everyone was
Hmm.
just bad, unbelievable, and it's not on the players' fault.
Yeah.
Eh? Again, we're missing some important players, but that's how we set up. That was the game plan. But I think the game plan was counter with a bit more quality, and besides Vlahovic trying to chip that goalkeeper, and he needed to score that, in my opinion.
Hmm. Hmm.
We had nothing. Like every counter we tried to attempt was was awful. That was unbelievable.
I mean, the two main opportunities Juve had were, I think about that one, then I think about the pass Vlahovic made to Quadrado, and
Oh yeah,
Quadrado just made one of the worst shots I've ever seen.
and
Like
that's
the time that he took, and yeah.
no, like you saw the goal. It was an own goal. In that circumstance, you where you're talking about, I said the same thing. Just
Hmm.
cross it, hit it with power into the box. If somebody touches,
Yep.
it's great. You're not shooting, like you're not scoring from there. Like there's a
Hmm.
goalkeeper in goal. You know that, right? He's not an
Yeah.
idiot. He's gonna stand by his post. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do. Just cross it with power into the box, and you see what happens. Like, it was one of the shittiest goals I've ever seen, but it went in, and he shut out his way to win. Is unbelievable. Like, we cannot defeat Allegri at some point. He's undefeatable.
It was well. Just to be clear, the one that I was talking about was the I think it was at the 78th minute, that shot attempt. Okay, I just want to make sure you were thinking about the same man. Yeah, that one. That was a terrible shot that hit the side of the the net on the outside, on the right outside, and then I just there's so many little pieces. Like I see, I was going through just nitpicking. I think if I had to go through and say who was our best player of the match, I'm not giving him a ton of credit because I think there's a lot of criticism you can give goes well. But I was just gonna say Panine because every time I had to write down for every shot that they took on goal, Juve couldn't even get a shot on goal at the time. So like it was just that's all I had at that moment was maybe I give him because there were plenty of opportunities that if it weren't for him, getting a stop here or there, Fiorentina had more than a couple. Yeah, maybe there were a couple of the shots. I mean, a lot of the shots were weak shots. They were directly at Panine, but at the same time, I've seen lesser shots go in, against Juventus before.
Yeah, for sure. Like against Empoli.
Obvious. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. And then, exactly. And then also thinking, if you had to go with the real man of the match, you'd have to go with the other team. You had to go with Icone, which I can't believe.
Yeah,
that none of those went in that he had. He had so many opportunities today.
Yeah, like I have no idea how he missed that. Like I needed to watch a replay twice. I'm like, did Perrine save it? What happened? Like unbelievable. Like actually unbelievable.
Yeah, a couple more things to note that I really just wanted to point out really as we're going through this. Obviously, you started off the game with some frustration with Rabiot with I don't know what the hell he was trying to do there on the cross. Was it? I mean, I could go through and just nitpick everybody a little bit for some of the mistakes that they made. Obviously, the biggest stat I think was early, I think it was in the first 30 minutes. You tweeted out a screenshot of basically the attempts and the efforts made by Juventus's attack, which were just zeros across the board, except for I think one of I can't even remember what it was, but it was just a whole lot of nothing, absolutely nothing that they were creating. But again, we're here. We get to.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was insane. We're just sitting here, I mean, it's by the graces of whatever higher being, the sports gods, right here, just letting Juventus scrounge up a win out of nothing. Really, they deserve nothing in this match. I don't want to be. I think I joked a little bit saying I saw you tweet out before the match saying about basically along the lines of what was it? Just basically with the lineup we have here, it's crap. It's no excuse, but then at the same time, we should see something good. Yeah. And I noticed, and I knew what you were doing, and I was like, he gets sports radio now. What he's doing the hedge so he can still crush them, even though the team is a crappy lineup. He can still come out there and crush them.
I said him in preview yesterday with Julian. I'm like, they're gonna press the out of us, and they did that. They did for 90 minutes. They did that. So, and I was like, if they do that, we're screwed because technically this team sucks. Like you've seen it. Mm-hmm. Like we suck on the ball. Like it's just bad. At times it's unwatchable. Like a lot of time. Like the entire game was unwatchable. But on the ball when we are getting pressed, it makes you want to cry at times. So I said that again to Julian, and then I also said I don't expect anything with the players that are out, with the formation, with the players like the Shilu at the back. Like I don't expect nothing. But I said to Julian, I said I expect us to do at least something because I said like if Genoa go there, if Spezia go there, name the teams, they still have a worse squad, starting 11 than us. They do something. So there's no excuse for us to do absolutely nothing. And we did absolutely nothing. And there's no excuse for. Like there isn't. Like Allegri can say injuries or before people get angry, I like Allegri, but I'm not gonna defend this. Like you set up to absolutely create nothing? That's not okay. Like injuries, I get it. But at the end of the day, it's still Juve. And you cannot do that. I'm sorry. I'm not saying go gung-ho, because you will lose that game if you do that. But nothing? 90 minutes? Nothing? I'm like, no. That I will not accept.
No, I completely agree. I mean, a lot of what he was doing was really, I mean, it was clear. Like from the very first minute, it just felt like he was just playing. He was playing to get to the second leg. That's all it
Oh yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
It was what can we do in the second leg when we have guys back? When then I can play with it. Let's just hold them defensively, do it all we can.
Yeah.
And then there were some. I mean, the very few positives I saw in here were like I wanted to give Pellegrini a little bit of credit because I saw him making some hustle plays, man, putting in that effort there in a couple moments. Even though he was playing farther back than Shelia was at his position sometimes. I don't know if they traded off or what was going on in this circumstance. But definitely I saw him when he saved what would have been a corner for them and then ended up getting possession back for Juve, really fighting off. I can't remember what attacker he had on him. So at least a little bit of credit there. I would have seen Alexander do much worse in that situation. Um, and then I guess we got it. Let me see. I'm trying to look through here to see anybody else I really want to give any kind of credit. There's not a lot of credit to give
No,
today.
there's no credit, and there's no credit for anyone. Like, let's be honest over here. Like, there's no credit to, like, I think I will look like an ass if I'm gonna credit anyone for that.
Yeah.
And again, I don't blame the players. Huh? For this, I don't blame the players. They were set up like this. They do what the coach asks, which you should do. Like, you cannot go out there and do whatever you want. That's not how it works. But it comes from Allegri. I think we can all agree on that he sets up this way. And again, I said it to Julian. I would have rested. Like, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I would have rested another midfielder and Vlahovic. I said it. I said limit the damage, and he did that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say what are you doing, and I'm not gonna yell. But I expected a bit more in terms of going forward, like in certain moments. But then again, on the ball, the quality is so bad. Like, it's very difficult to create something. And based on this, because these performances, even if we have everyone, like, we still put some of these performances in, not for 90 minutes, but for a good portion of the game. And that's why I always stick by my stance saying I don't see us getting top 4. Because even if you put Dybala in that team, do you think it would have been much better?
Not from what I've seen Dybala recently.
So,
Dybala,
okay.
for the most part, either. I mean, he's a similar factor as the rest of the team is, where if he doesn't do something big in the first 20 minutes, what do you get? You know, it's kind of the same. Everybody on the team, everybody's culpable of this. They shut down after the first 20 minutes. So after there was no goal today, I knew it wasn't what I thought. Well, I guess I'd be technically right in saying it wasn't happening in regular time because it was in the bonus time at the end. But really, I mean, you got what you got. What we got wasn't anything to be lauded for Juventus. It was a luck. It was a laughable off the chest of a Fiorentina player. Off of it was a Venuti, I think it was.
Yeah.
That ended up having that. It was just luck by the grace of God, or whatever you want to say.
It was luck.
That's what it was.
It was luck.
Yeah,
like, it was just pure luck. There's like, you cannot describe it other than that was insane luck. Because, like, let's be honest, if we didn't even deserve a point, like, let's be honest, but a point, a 0-0. I was like, yeah, we limited damage. I don't know, it was awful. Then we scored, and this changes everything because you have the away goal now. It's just, you need to finish it at home now. I think you should be capable of doing that at home.
Does away goal still count in Coppa Italia?
That's why it's big. That's why it's that's even bigger. Like, you just need to don't lose with 2 goals. Don't concede 2 goals at home. That's what you need to do now. And you're through. That's it.
Yep.
Or don't lose and concede.
Right.
So this is. Will I say this is a massive boost? I don't want to call it a boost. Maybe because I saw Danilo speak and he said we showed character because we're missing a lot of players and we feel that in the team. Like, it's obvious. Some are playing a bit too much out of position. We did what we had to do. That's what he said. And he said also now Dybala and all those players are coming back. So he said, I'm proud of the squad, basically, for everybody stepping up. I'm like, like, I get that. He's a captain. That's how you speak. That's how you should be speaking in front of the camera. But yeah, it wasn't good.
I mean, you can't really give credit. Yeah, you can't say anybody's stepped up, but you at least say that people, they were. I mean, there are times where I could say, were they trying? But my biggest issue with this team that continues on, again, there is a positivity that I think you were saying one thing to take away from this before I get into my other point was just to say, as fans, it's nice to have something to celebrate, right? like after so many draws
Yeah, yeah.
and so many whatever, I'll take it. It's not like I'm gonna go home and like, or I'm home, but it's not like I'm gonna be super
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
excited
yeah.
the rest of the day. But it's like, hey, it could have been worse, right? And then if the team is that mentally weak and if they need this, I'm glad, I'm not trying to crush the team after coming off of a victory, but at the same time, if that's what they needed, fine. But that's not the mental space that I think any of us would
Yeah.
expect Juve
No, no,
players
no.
to be
I
in.
agree. I agree.
You know.
But
Okay.
it's a win. It's it's actually a big win. Um,
Mhm.
a win you shouldn't got,
Yeah.
but it would be nice if this also happens in the league because I know there will be games we shouldn't be winning, and I hope we shed ours away to win also in the league because it's coming. It's coming. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's on its way. It's around the corner. It's just waiting there. It's gonna happen soon. That we will have
Well,
that
and that's
type
it.
of game and we don't win. So it's, my only hope is that somehow we find a way to do it again.
Yeah. I think that's one of my biggest my to go off that criticism, but I think it is interesting to see if you looked at how Juventus has played this year, and that you create your own luck when you play,
Oh yeah.
for the most part. But at the same time, there have been a lot of things like Juve have not gotten a favorable role until now, almost all season, you could say. Like, how many times can you really point to think about like in previous seasons where something would happen at the end like this? I remember before, obviously in Ronaldo, there are other players, but at the same time, you had other games where the ball would roll one way, there would be a penalty given at the end. So people, or maybe also that penalty would come at the end because players were pushing and trying and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
attacking, and maybe that's what we don't have right now.
No.
Are guys that have the testicular fortitude to go into the box and try to draw a penalty. Maybe that's why people love to berate and hate on like guys like Chiesa who do what they do. Who maybe people think that they push into a guy or they try to draw their own penalties. Yeah, it's part of the game. If you're gonna
Yeah.
give up somebody a reward off it, you should do that.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I agree.
Like you see Milan's been doing it for years. But anyway, okay, another point that I wanted to get to, and I just wanted to get more your thought on it. I don't really have a lot to offer. I know a lot of guys won't be surprised to hear that, but at the same time, when it comes to Ake today, the only thing I really noticed, I think maybe he was just kind of left there on his own for a while, not getting the ball a lot.
I feel
The
very
only
sad
time
for
that he
him.
saw the only time I really saw him get the ball was the time when he had his lunch eaten really quick and just, he was just bullied and just run over real quick. And that wasn't.
It was sad to watch, and that it shouldn't happen. Let's be honest, it shouldn't happen for that kid. But in that second half, who had it? Like nobody at the ball. At some point, we had 25% possession. 25.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I don't know if people know what that means, but that's not touching the ball. That's it.
Yeah.
That's just controlling it, playing two passes, kicking it away. That's 25%. So I felt for him. He was basically asked to track back, and that's it. And he was kind of anonymous, like a lot of players in that first half. Even bad, well, even in terms of doing bad things, where players were anonymous.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. Going off of that, would you say that the issue for Ake today was the way Allegri played him?
Yeah.
Or do you think, but also, would you put any of it on maybe the mental headspace of the regular teammates who don't play with him on a regular basis, teammates who don't see him game in, game out, that's like lack of trust there?
No. Yeah, that's part of him, but not today. We set up like that. It's not him. Yeah. It's not on him. Okay. It's not on the team. We set up like that, and that's what you're gonna get. If you are gonna get, if you ask to be pinned back for 45 minutes, that's what's gonna happen. Like it was long balls to Vlahovic. It was not long balls to a winger because the wingers were so deep at times. Like it wasn't even possible to do that. I feel for him. I do.
No, I agree. I think I just wanted to make sure because I tried for a bit during the game to just zone in on Ake and what he's doing and see what happened. But after a while, it just became I just got distracted and ended up watching guys with the ball, guys who actually had the ball coming in their area. So it ended up being harder for me to really pay attention to. And then of course, unfortunately for him, being pulled at halftime, obviously it ended up working out, quote unquote. It's so weird. I want to put like an asterisk next to it every time I say it's good that Cuadrado came in. Because if we're being honest, I just want to cover this real quick. I mean, I obviously was being facetious and joking at the beginning of this because I literally was taking notes of every. And I'm not trying to crush Cuadrado, but if he's not, taking good shots, and if he's not delivering good crosses or corner balls, what's he doing? What's he doing for
No.
this team? You know, you got
No. Yeah. I want to say, let's be honest. We talked about it. Quadrado.
yeah.
This season is, I will say, nice. Is bad, but it's worse than bad. He doesn't take on his player at all. Like, he acts like he's gonna take you on, but then he just puts his feet on top of the ball and turns back, or cuts inside in midfield, loses the ball. Like, he does weird stuff. He doesn't take on his player, and that's not good for any player in that position. That cannot be good. If you do that at times, great. If you do that 99% of your game, it's pointless. It's actually pointless. It's wasting a player on that field and that position. It's just waste. It's being wasteful with your formation because it's not effective. So he's having a bad season, and it's okay to call him out for it, because he offers nothing. Like, he has those clutch moments, and again, people say, "Oh, look at that! Look at this now." Yeah, like, that's him. That's him. But like, over 90 minutes, like, he can play 88 of them on a very, very bad level. And when he came on, it was the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Juve players that decide to have their worst performances of the season of the year right when renewal time comes. So that's like right if you want to give us an excuse not to shell out the money, there it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Cuadrado had like a handful or a couple of games before the turn of the new year where I think he played a couple, he had a cross here or there that was substantial, but that was, unfortunately that was not the normal. That was outside the mean. Let's see. I know we want to wrap this up soon, but I had a couple other comments that thoughts I want to get out there. Let's see. There was let's see. We talked about him. Was it Moise Kean? Did he really do anything?
No,
I was trying to see if there's anything that he really. Yeah, I thought he was bad as well. There were a couple of things that I was so focused in, I think, just like Fiorentina and everybody else was on Vlahovic at the time, that I really didn't see. Moise Kean was an afterthought for me. He was kind of that anonymous player that I forgot he was even on the pitch until he was subbed out for Morata, to be honest. And maybe that was also because the ball wasn't getting moved down the field at all. Anyway, it was just staying in their territory. I guess, okay, so if we're going to go into this, let's just go ahead. I'm going to force you. Like I said, you didn't want to. Man of the match, least valuable player of the match. And then what do you give Allegri for this match? I want to hear that.
The man of the match is Venuti from Fiorentina. He's the man of the match. So that's that. Yeah. The worst player on the field, I have no idea. Like, there's so many options.
Yeah.
I don't think De Chilio had a good game. I think he struggled. Pellegrini also struggled in that second half. I didn't like Arthur in certain moments.
Actually, that is real quick. While you're thinking of that, let me go ahead and say that's the thought I had on my mind. There was a moment when Archer, I think it was in the it was the 18th minute, the first half. Basically, everybody broke down, and his man starts making a run out, and he tries to go for the Chiellini yoink, and instead, he doesn't know how to do it. Like, he literally just let him go. Like, he kind of like patted him on his back, and he couldn't do it. And then the guy, that's what ended up leading to the shot attempt there on goal. Luckily, another one that Panini stopped. But that's the one thing that really stuck out to me. I was like, my guy, either you're gonna need to work on some arm strength, or you're gonna need to work on having Chiellini teach you how to do this to these guys. Like, if you're gonna get a yellow card or whatever it is, it's worth it in those moments, especially if it would have led to a goal. That's why, while you're going for your least valuable player, I'm gonna give my MVP, and it's a loose MVP, and it's just, like I said, Panini, just because he stopped a few attempts. He stopped the free kick. It's the bottom of the barrel, but that's all I have right now, because nobody else really did anything besides Cuadrado getting lucky at the end. Otherwise, Cuadrado might be my least valuable player outside of that moment.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I agree. Perin, okay, that's fair.
So, anyway, did you come up with the least valuable, or are you just gonna say the whole team?
The least valuable. Yeah, pick it. I don't know. You can choose. Maybe one of Pellegrini and De Chilio. One of those two. I didn't like them, especially in the second half.
I'll go with De Chilio. At least Pellegrini gave me something at one moment
Okay.
that I gave him some credit for. That's about it. I mean, that's really all I can
Yeah.
say. Yeah, it could be a team thing, honestly, at this point. And then finally, and then we'll wrap this up here. What's your thoughts on Allegri and the way that he went about this match?
I expected that. And I said like damage limitations because I know who you're missing, the moment, all those things. But I expected a little bit more going forward. Like at least do something. Don't put that team for 90 minutes on the back foot. That's what he did. I think that's dangerous.
Mhm.
And we got
Yeah.
lucky. We got away with it. Four. Like he got the win, but like you
Yeah.
set up your team for a big failure. And again, we got lucky because we should have lost that game.
No, I completely agree. I think we definitely went in with that same kind of mindset. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Any other final thoughts before we get out of here, regarding this, and then what we
He's
had to look forward to?
gonna shit house his way to a treble, I think. He's gonna
Dude, if
win
that
it all.
happened, I would bleep a brick. I would be the happiest day of my life. I honestly, that would probably be better to me than actually like winning beautifully. Just literally, just like bumbling and stumbling and like drunkenly vomiting our way to a
Yeah.
treble would be fantastic. I'd love it. All right, guys. Anyway, that'll do it for your instant reaction regarding the match. That was today. Juventus defeating Fiorentina, and I use that term loosely on the road 1-0. It was good. I'm not gonna say good performance. It was a terrible performance,
He was.
but the soccer calcio god shined down on us today. If you could, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media, all the good stuff at bianconerizone as well. And we'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.